Thank you very much.
Just give me 1 second, Hudson. It should tell me, yeah, we're recording now.
Great. So just for those of just because I want to make sure I cover this, if you have a child who's at the elementary school and you haven't been able to contact support there, or you haven't used our general tech support email, you can reach them all at first initial last name at jerichoschools.org. So M. Lawrence at jerichoschools.org, E. Goldstein at jerichoschools.org, and F. LaSala at jerichoschools.org. You can also reach Leanne, Donna, and Rachel at their email addresses. Or if you want to make sure you're being seen by me and the rest of the department, you can use tech support at jerichoschools.org. That email goes to everyone in the department. So we all get a hand in that. And honestly, most of the time, you're getting a response from Donna, Leanne, or Rachel when you email that email address. So it's a better way to contact us, because then you know you're getting multiple sets of eyes on your issue. So I want to briefly give you an overview of when to do what. One of the biggest questions we get as a department is, when do I use Canvas and when do I use PowerSchool? And it's a good question, but I think it's one with a pretty clear answer. So Canvas is your day-to-day overview of what your child or children are doing. It helps you see your child's homework. It allows you to keep up with daily announcements and day-to-day class information, and it allows you to communicate with your child's teachers directly. PowerSchool is more a clearinghouse of data over time, except in the instance of the health check, which I'll cover in just a moment. PowerSchool is there for you to view semester, trimester, quarter, and end of year grades. It'll allow you to track your child's attendance, and it will allow you to access many student records that will give you kind of a broad view or a long view of what your child has been doing during their time at Jericho. The day-to-day operation of PowerSchool that you will be involved in and have been involved in is the health check. The daily COVID health check is done through PowerSchool. That's because PowerSchool is what we call our source of truth, our single source of truth as a district. The data in PowerSchool is what we report to the state and everywhere else. Not that we do day-to-day COVID reporting right now to the state, but that's where we collect that data, and eventually it does go to New York State as far as test scores and things like that. So PowerSchool is, for us, the clearinghouse for all the most important data. Canvas is more day-to-day. If you have an issue with PowerSchool, it's almost always going to be resolved by my team. If you have an issue with Canvas, oftentimes it will be, but sometimes it's just going to be an issue with a teacher publishing a course or something like that. But 99% of the time when you have a PowerSchool issue, it's going to come down to my department working it out. So I'm going to briefly run through the basics of Canvas. I will at some point throw this over to Leanne, certainly for the PowerSchool part. But I want to walk you through how to access Canvas, because I know some of our parents are new and haven't always had a chance to do this. And we also have a lot of documentation. So if there's ever something you're wondering about that I haven't covered in this presentation, shoot us an email and ask if we can help. We often have walkthroughs, videos, handouts that we can give that'll make things a little bit easier for you. So just to start with, in Canvas, you can go to jerichoschools.org, and if you're sitting at a computer now, which you must be because you're watching me, you can open up a web browser, go to jerichoschools.org, and on the left hand of the page, there's a sidebar that says Quick Links. You have to scroll down a bit to get to it. To access Canvas for Parents, you'll want to click that Canvas for Parents button. There is a difference between Canvas for staff and students and Canvas for parents, so please make sure you're selecting the right option. Once you arrive there, you can log in with the email address registered to the school and your cell phone written out as your cell phone, 3 digits, -3 digits, -4 digits. If you forget your password, you can click on the link and enter your email address that's registered with Jericho. That will trigger a password reset. You can also contact our office and we can help with that. A lot of times people just reach out to us, they shoot us an email at tech support, or they give us a call and we can help them with that. Unless you've done it before, it makes it a little bit easier. Canvas, as we said before, is our learning management system where you can access your child's homework assignments. To log in as a parent, there's the URL for you in case you don't want to go to the link every day. So this is slightly different from how children log in. And when you log in, what you'll see is the account that you're logged into, the dashboard, courses, and calendar. And those are the real keys, the most important things for you. One thing that is very confusing to people, and that I want to make sure I'm clearing up for folks, is that when you get emails from Canvas as a parent, it will oftentimes have links in it. So it'll say something about notifications or an assignment being due, and yet when you click the link, it doesn't open. We know, and we know that's super annoying, but it is how Canvas is designed. So those links are the same as the links your child gets. Your child can log in and take action to them, but you can't. So even though you're an observer on your child's account, you wouldn't be able to log in and post homework or respond to a notification. That has to be done in the child's account. That is something that we find has confused people for a couple of years. We've asked Canvas many times, is there a way we can change what we're sending out? And Canvas says, sure, we're working on it. And apparently they continue to work on it. So as of right now, just know that when you get an email with some links in it, and those links require action, your child can take that action. And they don't have to go through your account. They're getting the same emails. In order to get yourself paired to a child, again, we can help you, and we have a lot of documentation on this, but the easiest way to do it is have your child log in. So they'll go into their account. And again, the child's account is going to look very much like yours. It's account, dashboard, courses, calendar, inbox, and help. And if you click account and then settings, you'll be able to get their pairing code. So on the student setting page, you'll see a button on the right side of the page that says pair with observer. Now remember, you're logged in as the student now. You're not logged in as yourself. You won't have a pairing code. The pairing code will appear. You can write it down, take a picture of it, and you'll need it for the last step. And I'm going to run through all these steps once more. So if you're sitting here trying to take notes, first of all, we can send you documentation that could be really helpful. And second of all, we'll go through this one more time. So you're on the student setting page. You click pair with observer, a pairing code appears, write that code down. Now you're going to log in to your parent account. So it's helpful if you and your child are in the same room and they're on one device and you're on the other. It's certainly not required, but it's helpful because he or she can be logged into their student account to get their pairing code, and you can be logged into your parent account. Once you have that pairing code, you're going to log in, as I said. You're going to click account again. You're going to click on the observing link. And now you're going to input that pairing code you got from your student's account in step 4. So input the code in the field labeled student pairing code, then hit the plus student button. If you go now and check your observing page by clicking that link or hitting refresh, you'll see the student you added. And I'm going to run through that very quickly again, just to make sure everyone feels comfortable with the process. So very briefly again, I'll make this quick, but I want to make sure we haven't lost anybody because I know this gets a little complicated, and please throw a question in the chat if you have it. So very quickly, again, how to observe a student. And again, you can always call us and we can help you, or email us. You log in to your parent account just to make sure it's up and running. Then ask your child to log into his or her account. They'll click their account button here up at the top. It's circled in yellow. And then they'll click the settings link. Once you're on the student setting page, you'll see the pair with observer link. You can click that link and it will produce a pairing code. Write that down or take a picture of it. Log into your parent account, or if you're already logged in, click on the account observing link. Input that pairing code that you got in step 4 and hit the plus student button. And that's it. You've now added your student to your observations, and your student is now on your observing page, and they should be there along with anyone else you've added. Your account should be connected to all of your children, so please confirm this by logging in and going to account settings. We're finding this is even more important for people today because in the event that we do go remote, we want to make sure everyone has access to the information they need. So to check on this, go to log in to your parent account, go to account settings, select observing. You'll see your children's names listed. If you don't see all your children, add them by going through the process that we just talked about. I'm going to pause here on the observer accounts to take questions to see if anyone has anything they'd like to ask about what we just walked through. I know that's a lot that we did in a quick period of time. Hopefully going through it a couple of times helped. But you can also shoot us an email. We have documentation that can help. But if you have any questions, now's a great time. Just throw those out there and we're here to help. If not, I'll move on to the next section. Wow. I've done such a crystal clear job explicating this. Feeling very good. Okay.
I'm monitoring the
Moving
chat
on.
for you too, Patrick. So if people put things in the chat, I'll shoot them out to you, okay?
Yeah, please do. We definitely want to be as responsive to people's questions as we possibly can. And thanks for linking to the slides. That was a great idea.
Patrick,
and of course,
sorry,
yeah.
I have a question. Sure. Do you have any sense of how often parents log in to check out student accounts, or how many observers we have?
That's a great question. We can get you a total number of observers. I don't have that at my disposal right now, but we could certainly find it out. Most parents we find set their notifications to be weekly, at least in my experience. That's anecdotal based on people I've worked with directly. I don't see a lot of daily notifications at the middle or high school level, but I do see a lot of weekly notifications. So my assumption is people are checking in, 2 or 3 times a week and being notified once a week. But again, anecdotal. I don't have any hard data on that.
All right. Thanks.
I'm told someone's just texted me that there's a problem with the chat. So let me just take a look at it, okay?
Sure.
Aileen, could you try to put something in the chat and let me know? I'll see if there's a problem with it. We'll figure something out.
Right now it says chat disabled.
Okay, let me see. All right.
Yeah, I have it disabled.
All right, let me see what I could do.
All right, while Don's working that out, I'm going to resume talking a little bit about observer accounts. And again, if you have any questions, you can always verbalize those or throw them in the chat when it's up and running. Should be shortly. So as a parent, when you log into your parent account, you'll see your dashboard. So on the left-hand side of the page, it'll be the icon right under account. The dashboard helps, whoops, sorry. I jumped ahead. The dashboard helps you see what's happening in the courses and allows you to figure out what to do next. And you can always return to your user dashboard by clicking the dashboard link. This is called global navigation over here on the left-hand side, just because that's how you get through everything in Canvas. To see specific information about a course, click on the course from the dashboard or under the courses link on the left-hand side of the page to go to the dashboard. You'll find links to course content on the left-hand side of the screen. The sidebar on the right-hand side shows a to-do list of assignments or what's coming up in your coursework. Just a reminder here, again, that students have access to things that you do not. So there are links that won't always be accessible to you. For example, you won't be able to turn an assignment, whereas your child will be able to. So just keep in mind that there are certain limitations to what you're going to be able to do in Canvas versus what your child is going to be able to do. If you encounter any of those limitations, a good way to get around them is to have your child log in, see if it works for them. If it does, that's expected behavior of Canvas. There's a lot that's sort of siloed between parent and student. To check the syllabus, which you should have access to, that'll be on the left-hand side of the page. I believe everybody is required to post a syllabus at minimum, so you will be able to access that. The other thing is that not everyone, I think that the middle school Canvas is pretty popular, but but Google Meet's very popular as well, and Google Classroom is very popular. So if your child is actually meeting through a means other than Canvas, let's say they're having their class meetings through Zoom or through Google Meet, those links will be posted in Canvas as well. So the Canvas is sort of the one-stop shop to making sure you're able to stay on top of everything your child is doing. That doesn't necessarily mean everything your child is doing will be within Canvas, which is a pretty important distinction. So your child may be working on Edpuzzle or Pear Deck or things that exit Canvas, and those are great products, and we support them at the district level. But keep in mind that they will not always, links should be in Canvas, but the work won't always be in Canvas. So you may have to click a link or go elsewhere to see the actual content that your child is working on. Canvas is pretty good on Chrome and Firefox. I've never had an issue with it on Safari. So if you're a Mac user, you should be fine too. One thing that we have to point out that has been a huge issue for people, and if you emailed us about this, you probably know exactly what I'm going to say. Sometimes people struggle to log into Canvas. They would go to the login button and it just wouldn't do anything. If that happens, it's because you have to clear your cache and your cookies, which I know what you're thinking. What on earth does that mean? So what I'm going to ask, I think, Leanne, I think we have instructions. I know we have instructions to do that, but could you throw them into a Google Doc? Just paste exactly what we have in and share the link here, because that would just make life easier for everybody to have access to that. And I promise I'll finish up the Canvas part if you can put that together while I do this.
Patrick, thanks. I do note that I'm having some trouble with the chat. So I want to invite people to use the raise hand function if you want to ask a question. It's right on the bottom, and
Dr. Gately, it's working, the chat.
Okay, great.
I think it's fixed now, yep.
I think either Chad or Katie, through the magic of technology, fixed it, or somebody out there did. I want to thank you guys for that. I also want to note that Divya, another one of our board trustees, I want to thank you for joining us and all of the support that we get from the Board of Education. I see that you've joined us in here. I'm trying to monitor. Patrick, there's thousands of people in the Zoom chat right now.
As well there should be. This is riveting content that we're delivering to the masses, so I'm glad that people have come and joined us.
Thousands of people. And they're being joined now by our superintendent of schools, Hank Grishman. He's participant number 3007.
You did say we were going to break 3,000 today, Dr. Gately. You didn't lie. You said it. You said, well, the tech department's always a big draw. People love when we talk in technical terms about things. It's a huge
I'm getting chilled.
I want to resume just quickly, finishing up my overview of Canvas for everyone, and then we'll segue into PowerSchool. We're going to share the links for clearing your cookies and cache. If you've had a problem logging into Canvas, you probably think there's no technical solution these folks give me that I'm going to be able to do, but I promise you this one's super easy. It's really just going into Chrome, if that's your browser that you use, and it probably is because it's the most popular one. You go into Chrome, you go to the option that allows you to clear your cookies and cache, which Leon's going to post in the chat just momentarily, and that will fix the problem. It resolves the problem 100% of the time, which is very rare that we can say anything resolves any problem 100% of the time. If you have a username or password issue, that's a different issue, and I would really encourage you to hit us up at techsupport@jerichoschools.org with those issues, because we can fix them pretty easily and pretty quickly. You're always welcome to call our office, 516-203-3600, extension 3413. So you can absolutely give us a ring. I would say that you'll probably get the best service through email just because there's more people on it. There's only 3 of us in the office answering the phone, but there's sort of 12 of us who handle the email. So I think that's a great way to go. But you should be okay using Canvas on just about any browser you choose. I've not tried it on Microsoft Edge, and you probably haven't either, but I know that the others do work. Now, very quickly, I want to show you the layout, because Canvas can be a little jarring the first time you look at it if you're not comfortable with it, if you're not familiar with it. And we want you to feel a high level of comfort with it, especially given the fact that if at some point you need to be accessing it more consistently, we want you to know where to go and what to do. So this slide really just walks you through what you'll see when you're logged into Canvas. The left-hand side, as we mentioned before, is the global navigation bar. It's got, from parents, 5 icons: account, dashboard, courses, calendar, inbox, and help. So the full course list is under courses. Some classes are going to be hidden, especially classes that your child's taken in the past. So if you don't see a tile on the main page when you log in, go to courses, and you can scroll through and find the course that way. Calendar is where all the assignments and dates will be found for a particular course. One thing that we've had happen to folks is that if you get beyond 10 classes, the calendar gets a bit wonky. So we would advise you to pick the courses that are most crucial to following. There are some courses like high school all students 1920 that might be less important to have on your day-to-day calendar than something else. So sometimes you have to be a little judicious in your choice. That is, again, a limitation of Canvas that we have brought to their attention. Unfortunately, it's difficult for them just based on the physical space they have available to them. It's difficult to cram anything else into the calendar once you get past a certain number of courses. The inbox is how you'll communicate with your child's teachers. We think the inbox is a really great feature because it's the thing that allows for a continuous dialogue between you and the teacher. Then if you look in the main center of the screen, those tiles represent your courses, your child's courses. So in this case, we have a child who's enrolled in quite a few classes, and then also in some general groups like high school guidance and high school all students. Those are the groups that it's important to keep up on everything, but the day-to-day stuff that you're most concerned about is probably assignments from the courses. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, you see the coming up, which is really just the assignments and announcements that are due in the near future. So the center of the page is the course tiles. That's where you'll access the classes. You can color code them. Let's say you want to make everything related to English language arts one color and everything related to general stuff like high school all students and high school guidance another color. You can do that pretty easily. So this is your main view. Everyone who logs in is going to see this. The calendar, as we talked about, has some limitations. So you can see right here in the right-hand side, you can pick what's going to display in the calendar, by clicking that checkbox. So the way that you'll be able to see what you want to see on the calendar is by selecting them here. Now, a lot of people don't know they have control over that. So that's an important thing for us to just stop and sort of focus on for a sec. You pick what's going to display in the calendar by checking the box next to the course. So, and this person has chosen not to check digital citizenship or guided study, but they are looking at small U.S. history and every other announcement from Ms. Dreise's class. Items can be toggled on or off with the colored box to the left of the course name. You can also change the day or the month to see what's coming up. To change the month, you would click the little arrow to the left or to the right. If you want to go backwards, click the arrow to the left. If you want to go forwards, to the right. And if you click on a date, you'll jump forward to what's due on that date. Additionally, you can also look, whoops, my screen sharing is being paused. Not sure if that was you, Don. Okay, I'm back. You can also change up here the week, month, or agenda view. So this will set how the view in Canvas presents itself. You'll either see an agenda style view, like a list of events, you'll see a week view, or you'll see the monthly view. Here we've chosen the monthly view. One thing you may want to configure is your notifications in Canvas. So a notification, as you probably are familiar with on your phone, just usually a little box or alert that pops up and tells you something is going on. You've got an update to an app. You maybe have news alerts set up. Well, Canvas works in much the same way. So the Canvas alerts you can configure by clicking on Account. So that's again going to be in that what we call that global navigation bar on the left-hand side of the screen. And then clicking Notifications, which is going to be the top option you have. And you'll get kind of a labyrinth view. This can be a little overwhelming and disconcerting for people the first time they see it. So let's walk through what all this means. So first you have due dates. You can select whether or not you want to view those. You have the options there are notify me right away. So if you click the check mark, every time a new due date is posted, you'll get notified immediately. That might be a little much for most people, especially as it pertains to middle school or high school students. You can have a daily summary sent to you. So if you want to know what's due every day, that can come to you at the end of the day. I'm not sure exactly what time that comes out. I would assume they email that to you at some time during midday. You have the option to send a weekly summary, which I think is pretty common. And then you also have the option to turn off being sent anything. And these are granular options. So you can choose to be notified about all due dates, all grading policies, but never notified about, for example, course content or files. It's really up to the individual how much they want to be notified. There's no right or wrong answer to this. Some people find it overwhelming to get, 15, 20 notifications in a day. Some people want to be that on top of what's going on in the classroom. It's up to the individual. So we're not going to prescribe anything. I will say anecdotally from my own experience, most people seem to configure this to be weekly. And I know in my own experience with my children, I tend to set up my LMS notifications to come in on a weekly basis. I'm going to pause here again just to see if there's any questions that have come up in the chat or anywhere else that we should answer. We will definitely, Adina, I see your question. We will absolutely send this out, or we'll ask Dr. Gately to send the link out to this. Canvas Mobile is dicey. We have had issues with their mobile app, as have just about every other district that uses it have had issues with their mobile apps. And I know Leanne responded to this, but I just want to respond because it's a question that comes up. You can get info on classes and things like that, but the calendar can be very glitchy. We've found that the browser is extremely dependable. So I would generally say the best way to go about things is to use the browser if you can. It's just cleaner and it always works. So I'm going to jump back into this. And if you have any questions you'd like to verbalize, by all means, please do. I can always pause. And thank you, Dr. Gately, again, for sharing those slides. I'm going to give you just a quick overview inside a Canvas course. So what do you see once you sign into a Canvas course?
Someone asked how to change their Canvas password.
Oh, they can either, I can go back a little bit and show you that. Hang on one second. Two ways. There's emailing us at techsupport@jerichoschools.org. That works. We can always help. Or if you'd rather do it yourself, just go to the Canvas for Parents login and click Forgot Password. It should be right at the bottom of the page in the Canvas login page. And it's fairly straightforward. Most folks, don't have too much of an issue doing it, but occasionally you might have an email address that's unfamiliar or that you don't use anymore tied to your account. So if you run into any issues, please just shoot us an email and we'll get you through it. Let me exit out of this and just come to the end. We're almost at the end of our Canvas talk, so I'll be throwing this over to Ms. Dunkley in just a moment. But I want to finish up with showing you inside a Canvas course. Not everyone uses the Canvas gradebook. Some people use PowerSchool to maintain their grades. So it's not 100% that every grade is going to be posted to Canvas. That's something that you can always ask the classroom teacher about if you have questions about it. We don't really mandate that grades go into Canvas. Grades have to be in PowerSchool. That's where, again, when we talked earlier about having a single source of truth, PowerSchool is where we consider it essential to store grades. So if you're not seeing grades in Canvas, please check into PowerSchool, and we're going to get into PowerSchool in just a minute. The left side menu bar, once you're inside a course, gives you a whole bunch of options. Some of these are links to programs that are not going to launch if you click them. And the reason is you don't have a ConnectEd account, your child does. So if you're logged in as yourself and you click ConnectEd or Big Ideas or Google Drive, it's not going to launch what you want it to launch, because it's only going to launch those things for your child when he or she is logged in. That is, again, like we were talking about before with the sometimes confusing issue with the email addresses, this can be a little confusing for people. So we just want to make sure we cover it up front here. And again, on the right side, just like you would see in the parent view, you see the course stream, which is what's coming up, or I'm sorry, you see the coming up, which are assignments and things like that. You can also view the course stream, which will just give you updates on what's been going on in the class in sort of a streamlined view. Course pages are unique to how the teachers set their pages up. So we don't have a particular module or outline of how you're supposed to do it. Some use an outline system of modules. Some use pages. Some really just keep everything in like a running stream on their main page. They can be set up in a ton of different ways, and we don't mandate or tell people how to do it. It's up to the individual teacher to decide. So that's going to be it for our Canvas discussion. We're going to move into our discussion of PowerSchool. I'm going to ask Ms. Dunkley to lead you through that, but I want to just take a moment here. Check us on time, Dr. Gately. How are we on time?
It's 9:43. We usually call it a brunch and learn hour. So,
Okay. So we'll zip through PowerSchool pretty quickly. Before I do that, sorry, Leanne, if I'm leaving you too little time. But I want to show you something else that I think is really important for us to show you. And that's the Otis online training platform. This is something we're really proud of, and we've worked with a vendor to put together. If you're a parent who's struggling with certain aspects of online learning, there are certain things that we don't always do the best job helping you with. And the reason is we don't know what your home network is like. We don't necessarily know how your router is configured, things like that. So I'm going to show you where you can go for help with that. And it's something we think is really kind of cool. So I'm going to share my screen again. This is something that we will, I'll ask Dr. Gately to send out to everybody as well. So hopefully everyone can see creating a parent account on Otis, hopefully. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Okay. Oops. So what I want to show you here is how parent accounts for the Otis platform work. Otis is a new online training platform. The videos on Otis are designed to help parents learn how to support distance learning by teaching skills like troubleshooting home wireless internet connections, enabling webcams, connecting to Google Meet or Canvas conferences, and many other things. We really encourage people to use this. We don't actually have a way to track all the parents who sign into it because it's open to everyone who's a parent in Jericho. So we don't know how popular it is yet, but it's definitely something we think will take off as more people become aware of it. The way that you can create your account is very straightforward. You're going to open up a web browser like Chrome or Safari. You can copy and paste the link in this document right here. You'll fill out the form that comes up with the most basic information about yourself. It's not asking anything probing, just name, email address, things of that nature. And make sure that you indicate that you're with Jericho. And then you can just put in this group code, ED8616. Now, I have noticed that when people copy and paste this, for some reason, it doesn't always pick up the D. Oh, it seems okay now. That group code is extremely helpful in that it will get you into all the videos we've made specifically for Jericho parents. We're also working with a translation service to get those videos translated. That's something that's very important to us and very much on our agenda. So be on the lookout for that. Once you use the group code, you'll be placed into the Jericho Parents group where you'll have access to our complete parent course library. And right now, some of the things we have up there are troubleshooting your wireless internet connection. We have a walkthrough for how parents can use Canvas and Canvas conferences. We've got an overview on problems with Google Meet that people encounter frequently. And we cover a whole bunch of material on Google Apps for Education and Microsoft for Education. So I really encourage you to avail yourself of this resource if you have not done so already. And the easiest way to do that is, again, just copy and paste this link into your browser, fill out the form, use the group code, and you'll be right in. If you have any issues, we have an amazing team over at TEQ who's been helping us with this. And you can email otis@teq.com and let them know you're creating an account as a parent in the Jericho School District. They should be back with you in the same business day. So if you email them at 9 a.m. Today, you should hear back from them by 5 p.m. today. If you don't, please let us know, and we'll light a fire under them and get them engaged and helping you. But they've been terrific about helping parents who've had problems. So that's a quick overview of something I think is going to be really important going forward. I'm going to turn this back over to, or I'm going to turn us back over to our original presentation, and I'm going to ask the great Leanne Dunkley to take us through a little bit about PowerSchool. So Leanne, you are on.
Good morning. So PowerSchool, as we went over before, is your information system, more for grades, your parent portal, your safety check in the morning for the kids, a health check. So going back to the Jericho School website, and this is on any of the page, whether it's the district page, the middle school page, any of the schools will have this quick links on the left side, about midway down on the school's webpage. So you'll see PowerSchool Parent Portal. So when you click on that button, you'll have the login menu. You'll have two tabs. Patrick, if you can go back just 1 second. Thank you. The first tab is sign on. The kids are given a login that is set for them already. They would go here. When you're creating your account for the first time, you'll be emailed instructions that will give you an access code. You would click on create account. Create your account, link the students, and absolutely email us at any time and we can help walk you through these steps. And then when you go to login from there, you'd click sign on with your created username and password. So that's just the one distinction between students and parents. Students are given an account, parents create their own. So just something to remember when you're logging, to know which account you're logging, whether it's your students or your child's or your own account. And if you forget your username or password, of course, you can email us or click the link for help. Thank you. All right, so when you log into PowerSchool, and there is an app, so that'll give you the same information, whether you're using the app or the website. However, if you're doing the health check, you need to be on a website. You cannot use the app for the morning health check. So you have the navigation bar going down the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. For the most part, grades and attendance is where you want to get where you'll get your main source of information, how your students are doing, how your children are doing grade-wise, how their attendance is. Grade history would be more towards how they're doing in past classes or prior enrollments. Anything with fee balances, if they owe a textbook from the previous year that they have to pay, or any fees that might be affecting their account, you can find that information. And of course, their schedule will be listed on that menu. If you're using the app, it will ask you for a code for the school code. And you could see that down on the bottom, that code is down there at the bottom left. And as I said, in the center, you have...
Sorry, Leanne, just a real quick note for everyone. The app is not going to allow you to do the COVID test. Similar to how we have the limitation on the Canvas app where it does some things really well, but the calendar, it doesn't do great. The PowerSchool application doesn't give you the opportunity to use plugins, and the COVID-19 check-in is a plugin. However, if you're on a mobile device, just go to the web, use your web browser and launch PowerSchool that way, and you'll be able to complete the COVID check from your phone or a tablet device. Sorry, Leah.
From there, in the middle, you'll see your children's accounts listed, their classes listed, and then in the middle of underneath each quarter, you'll see an eye where you can click on and get the breakdown for each of their assignments, quarter grades, and final grades listed there. Any problems, as I said, absolutely give us an email, send us an email, give us a call, and we will gladly help you set up your account, add children, whatever you might need.
Thanks so much, Leanne. So that's really our overview of Canvas and PowerSchool. We hope that if you have any questions, you'll share them with us. I'm also glad we got to cover TEQ and talk a little bit about the Otis platform. Any questions that we can answer about any of those things, we're happy to do so. We'll ask Dr. Gately to make sure an email goes out with all the components of the presentation we did today, including the information about logging into Otis and creating your account. And by all means, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. You can ask them here, or we can turn it back over to Dr. Gately.
Thank you, Patrick. You guys did a great job on monitoring the chat. It's a lot, you know, and I think one of the advantages is I think you kind of have to do it. It has to be hands-on. I think it's in the doing of it. And I would reinforce what Patrick said. I've had a couple of questions that I just responded to myself, telling folks to go ahead and send a tech request. And Rachel, if it's a middle school parent, will get right out there and help kids. Rachel, what do you normally do when you get middle school tech tickets? Could you talk to parents about what that process looks like?
Yeah, when we get tech tickets, we answer them right away. So if it's a parent, staff, or student, if it's a parent, we email them or call them. If it's a staff member or student, we either email them or have them come see us in our office so that we can walk them through everything.
So if a kid is hybrid, you bring them right in and maybe you look at it with them?
Yeah, and if a kid's hybrid, we can call them or email them or tell them on the day that they come in that we can help them, or else we can set up a Zoom session with them, a Google Meet. Whichever way we need to get it done, we'll get it done and be able to help them.
Thanks, Rachel. I know you're doing a great job with that, you and Donna both, with all of our middle school tech issues. One of the questions I see in the chat, Patrick, maybe you could make Peter's point to everyone who might not be monitoring the chat about the mobile app for the health checks. Muted.
Yeah, thank you. Donna just shouted at me. Yes, so the mobile app is not where you want to do the health check, but the browser is. And as Peter mentioned in the chat, and thank you for bringing it up, Peter, it's actually really simple to do on a mobile browser. If you have an iPhone, using Safari is super easy. You'll just launch the website. You can even access the website the same way we walked through earlier when we talked about launching the website by going to jerichoschools.org. You can do that. Click the link on your mobile device. It will launch in Safari, and you can complete the health check very simply. If you're using an Android phone or you're a Chrome person, by all means, the same thing should work without really any issue. But we just want to caution you about the Canvas app and the PowerSchool app having two pretty significant limitations. The Canvas app and its display of the calendar, and the PowerSchool app and its ability for you to do the COVID check. So just be aware of those things. And the browser is a really efficient, I think, workaround for both problems. And we have flagged for both Canvas and PowerSchool how much we wish they would correct those two issues. Unfortunately, our wait at Canvas is less than I guess I wish it was. But they have done some good, they've done other really good things in getting stuff up and running for us. This is just one thing we don't love about both products.
Yeah, I guess they're pretty booked with all the work they're doing at other school districts as well.
They're over. I mean, we had an issue that came up recently that took them like a month and a half to solve, and it was a pretty basic issue. But their team is just utterly swamped. You know, every team from every remote learning or LMS type product is swamped around the clock right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not seeing any new questions come in on the chat, but you know what? Everyone knows where we live, and any questions that come in, we're eager to help. So I want to thank Patrick and his team. Thanks very much for your presentation, and it was really great. Really appreciate all that you do for us. You know, Chad, anything on the school end? Any other reminders or points to be made?
I think all of our tech game has gotten so much better in this virtual world. Report cards will open up, grades will open up next week, and I could always expect to get 20 or 30 requests for access to report cards. But this year, I know everybody's logged in because you have to do the health checks. So it just speaks to how much more tech stuff we're doing. Don, I know that you and Dave Cohen sent out a reminder about just being careful around the holidays. We do a lot to be careful around school and making sure that we are safe with COVID, but ultimately we're as safe as each of the individuals are in our community. So I think that was a great reminder that you sent out. I really appreciated it.
Thanks. I see Hank is here too. Hank, did you want to jump in?
I just wanted, again, great job, Patrick and Chad and Don. I just want to take an opportunity to say, everybody is doing just such an incredible job to keep our kids safe, our staff and our administration. And I just want to thank everybody for their efforts to keep us well informed, to be in touch with our kids and in touch with our parents. And just a congratulations and a thank you for all the hard work. Chad's point, and again, I think it's an important one. I know Chad and Don, you've made the same point. As our numbers are going up in Nassau County and the counties around us and throughout our state, it really is a time for us to be as vigilant as we possibly can in terms of following all of the recommendations from the Department of Health. Again, I think we have a challenge ahead of us that is, I think, a greater challenge than we've had over the last month or two. And being aware of that challenge, it's an opportunity for us just to reaffirm all of the health guidelines that we have been following and that have kept our schools open. And I just encourage our parents to work with us to follow all of those guidelines and with a sincere thank you.
Thanks very much, Hank. Those are great reminders. I was kidding before. We don't have 3,000 people on here. I'm sorry, Patrick, but we did record this. I'll wait and I will post the link to this session for people to watch. Patrick, I did share out the link. I did already send the email to parents with the link to your slides. For the future, Patrick, what I was ready to do for this, if our number had exceeded 100, and that would have been the max for a Zoom meeting, I would have shot over to the YouTube channel, and then we could have had more people in. So we'll keep in mind we're still sort of navigating these virtual waters of meetings and whatnot. So so that's how we'll handle it in the future. I want to thank everybody. Aileen and Lynn, thanks so much, and have a great day, everybody. If we're not in contact again, really have a great Thanksgiving with you and your families.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.